My name is Bart Kent. I spent the majority of my career in the helicopter industry. As a young kid, I got intrigued with aviation. I can still remember this very vividly, my first ride in an airplane. I was 5 or 6 years old, and my dad had learned to fly and bought an airplane. I can remember sitting in the back of it and then taking off and looking out and seeing the wheel lift off the ground, and I was hooked from that point forward. And what I found is that so many people in aviation, aside from the business and the career standpoint, there's an innate love of the industry, and there's something intriguing about it. It's hard to totally define. That's a very common thread through anybody I dealt with around the world in aviation, particularly the pilots and the maintenance people, that type of thing. There's a love for the business. And the joy of flying, helicopters, airplanes, seeing new things, new places from a different perspective that other people necessarily don't see. The pilot gets a lot of the attention, but equally so is somebody has to maintain these machines, keep them flying. What's evolved over the years from the maintenance standpoint, it's become much more complex. It used to be a fellow that worked on a car could almost work on an aircraft. They were wrench twisters. Today, airplanes, helicopters are flying computers, and like so much of industry today, it requires that capability to maintain them. And so that poses unique challenges today. You have layers of support people that do multiple things, and it's a complex business. It takes a variety of people. There's a lot of opportunities for different fields to be involved in aviation. When I became interested in aviation, I decided in my mind I wanted to be a pilot. So I pursued that doggedly over the years, and I did it through the military initially to gain the training. It's expensive. And the military gave me the experience. It opened up a number of doors. To get a job, you have to have a certain number of hours. So many people will become a flight instructor, get a flight instructor rating, and build time. They'll do other types of flying that are not as glamorous as, say, an airline pilot, a corporate pilot. There's an entree that you have to go through to gain the experience. The military generally requires a college degree. The maintenance people, quite often, they can go to trade schools, they can learn through the military, they can learn on the job. There's a great shortage of qualified pilots, but even more so maintenance people worldwide now. And so there's more and more opportunities for people to become trained. The aviation has grown considerably over the last few years throughout the world. For whatever reason, the supply just hasn't kept up with the demand. The challenge quite often is the expense to gain the experience. Because you can get a college degree, that's one expense that you might encumber if you want to become an accountant or whatever. You're going to have to do that. But then you go out and start earning an income, whereas a pilot, you may earn a degree, but then you've got to gain the aviation experience. So it's a layered requirement, and the maintenance people have to have the aptitude, first of all, and then gain the technical skills. There is that element of aviation that is not a business requirement. There's an element of the passion and the love for it. Pursue it. It's a fun business. It opens up all kinds of doors. It did for me. It's done for a multitude of my friends to do different things that I would never have dreamed of. Well, looking at all the forecasts you can read for the airline business and general aviation, all layers of the people involved in that industry are going to continue to expand. And one of the areas that's really unique and new, that's game-changing, and I don't think anybody right now has a total feel for where it's going, is the whole field of UAVs. And we talk about autonomous cars, all forms of transportation, and aviation is right there. And there are right now remote-controlled or UAV helicopters flying that are functioning, and they're primarily driven by the military. The initial R&D and the research and the development of these vehicles, but that's only going to expand, and because they're so versatile, not having to have a pilot there expands the whole capability of the aircraft. And so you're going to see that in the rotorcraft business, but you're also going to see it in the fixed wing business. So that's a whole new door that's opening up right now. If somebody wanted to get involved at this stage, it's a huge future. A lot of it is totally new technology, and it is evolving almost every day. It's a whole new world. One of the aspects of it is that somebody has to fly the vehicle. But somebody has to maintain these vehicles too, and the technology that supports them, and it's complex. So it's all new, and it's going to grow tremendously. There's no doubt. Yeah, I spent 17 years flying in the Army National Guard. I was at a medical unit in Northern California. We would get called up for emergencies, rescue work in the mountains in the Sierra. We would fight the fires, do water drops. Without doubt, the most satisfying experience I had in all my career in flying were the rescues and saving people and helping people. It's a feeling it's hard to describe, but it's very gratifying. Particularly with helicopters, you can do things with a helicopter, of course, that you can't do with any other flying vehicle. It is really very, very beneficial.